Well, we'll in a moment we'll start our program, or we'll start the meeting, and our program speaker sent a message that indicates he'll be in just a little after we start. So we're not waiting for him to get here, but he will be here in about 10 minutes, I believe. But that's no problem. So let's begin. It's the 100th anniversary club, Mesa Rotary Club. And our topic today, our program will be Move 1 Million. It's going to be with Chris Powell, and Chris Powell will be here in just a few moments. So Chris found a way to share his passion for health and fitness, as well as his life lessons that he's learned. And he's shared those with the world. He's helped create a hit ABC television show. It's been seen around the world. He's also written 2 best-selling books, I understand. He's been a regular contributor on Good Morning America and the Dr. Oz Show, and also regularly appearing in Men's Health and Women's Health magazine, as well as some others. So we've invited Chris to come with us today and speak about his mission to move 1 million. Before we begin, we're going to do a Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to offer a prayer, and soon Chaz will be our Sergeant at Arms. But we'll begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm going to ask Jan Newton to unmute your microphone and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Ben. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
His appointment down for tomorrow, but I wrote it down for today.
Which was right.
I was right.
I'm sure you are.
So,
Please join me in the prayer.
You know, he is going to get
Our Heavenly Father, we once again come before you asking
You want
for,
to look at these?
as we move forward with our many activities we do to support our community.
Oh,
Is grateful that each of us have the ability to give back to our community and who are in need of help, as so many are in this day. We ask you to continually bless each of us as we do our work. We ask it in thy name. Amen.
Thank you, Joe.
that's great. Those are great, Deb.
I'll send them to you.
Okay.
We're still having members join us. Dilworth, I've muted
Yes.
you. Just mute your microphone if you would, Dill. So just a note regarding the Arts Center. You know, some of our members are involved in the Arts Center in various capacities, and Randy's certainly got a big role there. Others on the board have helped and participated, but I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention, you know, Mesa Arts Center continues to be severely impacted by the pandemic, and they're planning a fundraiser that's going to take place in, I believe, about 11 months from now. In the meantime, you know, we'll have more details because they're going to tell us about it, but it sounds quite impressive what they're going to try to do. And just as a club, we all might want to be thinking about how we might support Mesa's Performing Arts Center. It's not a decision that we are going to make right now, but as members, we may want to come together in a group way and show our support for that organization. It might involve attending some programs there or in some other creative ways. So hopefully the thinkers in our club, which really are all of those members that are here right now, if you'll just maybe come up with some ideas, and we'll have a chance to talk soon about it. Now, as far as our guests today, Alex Cruz is in the meeting. I believe Karen Lewis mentioned she would be a few minutes late, and Ken Costello is trying to join us. He's a face shield fabricator. When the pandemic began, he started fabricating face shields and sent them to a number of facilities in a big hospital in the Midwest, and volunteered his time and service. Just an update on news about our club. The new member orientation will be held on April 2nd. That's Friday, 11:30. So please, every member in the club that has been here less than 1 or 2 years in our club should really plan to attend, because each of these little orientation meetings is a little bit different, and it's filled with information that helps you take away from Rotary more than you walked through the door with. So you can gain a lot by just attending. Rotary District 5495 week of service. That's a whole week, an entire week of service that'll happen in April. And Carol's been working a lot on that. And we may even coordinate with another club. But regardless, at this point, we're looking at a couple options, and probably in another week, we'll have selected which ones we're going to go with. And I think Carol has explained to me that we may be even going with more than one, and that'll be fine. Carol, would you unmute your mic and just update the club on the United Food Bank and share with the club everyone that was in attendance last Friday?
So last Friday, we had a wonderful time distributing food boxes at Mesa Conference Center, 151 North Centennial there. And we had about 9 people from our club show up, which was wonderful. And it was so nice to see some faces I haven't seen in a long time, like James and Susan. Jerry and Liz were there, Yvonne and Jen, Carol Lawless. So we had a very nice time handing out food, and I'm amazed some of these cars were able to roll away and take off. I thought a couple of them were basically strung with baling wire and we're gonna just kind of like die right there in the lane and block things. So it was a really nice thing we did. Distributing food boxes. That's starting to wind down a little bit, and they probably won't do that now that the numbers are going down. So thank you all for coming out. I think that was a fun project. Thank you for making it a success.
Another program that you organized, and we thank you for that, Carol. You're doing great. I want to ask Joe Wilson to talk to us just for a moment, explain to all our new members, what is a classification talk? And then who is that classification member that will speak to us today? Joe?
Thank you very much. Classification Talk is an opportunity for our new members to tell us a little bit about themselves. And it really becomes, I think, even more important now that we are on Zoom and don't have the opportunity to sit at a table and get to know our new members. We try to make it short, but it's an opportunity for them to talk about their business without getting fined and to tell us a little bit about themselves. So today I am pleased to introduce one of our new members, Rex Clevenger, who's going to tell us a little bit about himself.
Well, great. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm Rex Clevenger, born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. I've been married to my wife, Barb, for 26 years. In those 26 years, we've lived in 13 different cities. So I've got a great wife. I retired last year for the 5th time. I was the CFO for NextCare Urgent Care. I flunked the first 4 retirements, and I'm hoping that Rotary will help me not flunk again. My wife and I are snowbirds. We spend our summers at our cabin in Hayward, Wisconsin, which is a big mountain biking area. But what I thought you guys might find interesting is our hobby. My wife and I are avid beekeepers. And I think I can share the screen, can't I, Joe?
You should be able to share.
Okay, I'm gonna show you guys just a few slides of a typical day in a beekeeper's life in Minnesota and Wisconsin. We've kept bees in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Colorado, and now Arizona. Each area posed its own challenges. And in Minnesota and Wisconsin, it was all about the predators. And so I think you guys can probably see my screen now. So
yes.
We would typically have 5, 6 hives. And these hives are out in the bush. There's no electricity out there. And so we would bring in solar powered batteries and hook them up to perimeter fences around the hives. And our idea was to have 2 perimeter fences so that if the predator got into the first one, the second one might stop them. And then we had the foresight to put in a trail cam just to the left of the hives. And this trail cam would grab a picture anytime there was movement every 30 seconds. So here's a typical day in a beekeeper's life in Minnesota and Wisconsin. 11:52 a.m. This is what I named this bear Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear was probably a 350-pound bear, one of the smaller bears who were looking at our hives. So at 11:52, Smokey the Bear is eyeballing the quarry. 5 minutes later, Smokey is looking at the trail cam. He must have heard the picture being zapped of him earlier. 3 minutes after that, Smokey is back to the business at hand. You can see our hives back in the background. Each of those vertical stacks would have had 40 to 50,000 bees in it. 1 minute later, Smokey starts penetrating the outer perimeter fence. And my hunch is what happened when he put his wet nose on that electric fence there, he got the shock of his life. Because there's not another picture taken, no more motion was noticed for 14 minutes. So at 12:15, I had showed up probably around 12:10, taken the mower out of the car and started mowing. But it wasn't for 2 or 3 weeks later that I realized Smokey had been there because I didn't take the SD card out of the trail cam for a while. So this is a typical life of a beekeeper in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And each place we've done it has had huge rewards, but big time challenges in many ways. So that's who I am.
Thank you, Rex. And I have, we'll ask Rex to come back at another time and actually do a whole program on beekeeping so we can learn even more about that hobby that maybe some of you want to engage in. So I'll turn it back to you, Ben.
Thank you, Joe. Nice job, Rex, and we're glad you're part of our club. I want to really hand the microphone over to Chaz at this point, and Chaz is our Sergeant at Arms. But Chaz, when you conclude Sergeant at Arms, would you hand your microphone to Marlo Loria and let her introduce our speaker today?
Will do.
Thank you, Chaz.
Good afternoon. Happy spring, everybody. And happy National Chocolate Covered Raisin Day. Did you know about that?
Hadn't heard.
Well, believe it or not, chocolate covered raisins have a Wikipedia page. Yeah, Ben, do you have one?
I wish I did. No, but talk to me about it.
Well, you better get a better agent. Chocolate covered raisins came to the US in 1927. Does anybody know of a popular brand name for chocolate covered raisins?
Raisinets.
Raisinette.
Oh, wow. We have several winners. Okay. You people must read Wikipedia. It's also National Cheesesteak Day, but we're not in Philadelphia, so who cares? Hey, Rex, that was a great classification talk. Since you're from Kansas City, do you know any Workins there?
I don't know.
That's good because I'm not proud of them.
Okay.
And by the way, Rex, I had a beehive in college
Awesome.
in connection with an entomology class.
Yeah.
I love bees. So enough of that BS. Do we have any confessions today? Oh, this is pathetic. Look at
You have to create some.
look at Randy. He's just,
You, Chaz, you want me to do my Larkin Fitch imitation?
and what? Give a quarter?
Confess, we're not Catholics, we're all Methodists.
Oh, I guess you had to be there. How many people knew Larkin Fitch? We have 3. Okay, well, come on. Somebody must have done something in the last week. Must be proud.
Is Brian Yachts in the room? If he is, and I'm looking, I'm not sure. But I think he had some news to report, maybe related to his work. Not sure. Brian, are you here? No.
Don't see him. It's good to see Jerry Paulus, though.
Thanks, Chaz.
It's been too long, buddy.
It has been a long time.
Yeah.
Where's your burnous?
Oh, yeah, I left that. I left that over there.
Are you home now?
I am home. There comes a point in time when you look at yourself and you say, you know, am I trading my life for money? And when you get to that point, it's time to come home. So I'm home, and I don't envision going back. I am still helping, but I don't envision going back to Afghanistan.
Why aren't you in the same room with your lovely bride?
She didn't want me in that room. She said, I asked her, and she said, well, Vern and Janice aren't in the same room. So anyway, so we're on different computers in different parts of the home.
Okay, well, we've missed you, buddy. Ben, I think that I'm hitting a brick wall today.
I'm really surprised. Maybe it was because of last week's confessions or fundraising, and everybody's just kind of burned out. Maybe.
Yeah, Val emptied the well last week.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So why don't we turn it over to Marlo?
All right, I'm ready. If everybody else is ready, thank you guys for having me, and I'll be introducing our guest in just a minute. I need to share the screen, so, and I want to make sure that I get audio. Is there, share sound and optimize, okay. Okay, am I still there? Because now
Yes.
everybody left. Okay.
Sure.
I don't like when you can't see everybody, but that's okay. So I'll just pretend I see everybody here. So I'm here just to kind of introduce a collaborative that's going on within Mesa called Move One Mesa and Move 1 Million. It's been a partnership over the last couple of months with Mesa Public Schools, City of Mesa, Mesa Chamber of Commerce, and the Mesa Public Schools Foundation, and a nonprofit called Move 1 Million. What some of the folks that have come together, we're really kind of focusing on post-pandemic, right? We're seeing light at the end of the tunnel. We know that, with increased vaccination access, which is amazing today, anybody over the age of 16 and older can register for a vaccine. We have consistent in-person learning happening in our schools here in Mesa. That there's kind of this hope to get back to this normalcy. And but what do we want to do, and what have we learned over the last year? And we know that physical health and mental health have been pretty much front and center of dealing with this pandemic. But then what are some other things that we would want to focus on as a community? And the things that came up are kindness and community service. Oops, sorry. So together we worked with the nonprofit Move 1 Million to see how we can help as a community move us towards these community priorities. So I have a little video to show you here. Can you guys hear it?
The community has been incredibly divided and a lot of different feelings and opinions about what schooling should look like.
We can hear it.
And I think that Move 1 Mesa is an opportunity to build unison and bring our community together to move forward.
So Move 1 Mesa is really unifying all of us together to move forward towards these community priorities, such as physical health, mental health, kindness, and community service. And this includes community members from the City of Mesa, Mesa Public Schools, Mesa Public Schools Foundation, and the Chamber of Commerce, in addition to a great collaboration with Chris Powell and his Move 1 Million initiative.
Move 1 Million is the service project that I started to help millions of people take the very first step in their journey toward a better life, and also to help bring us all together, especially in these crazy times. And as the whole thing started to come to fruition, as I made connections with people in my city, they understood the movement, they understood the mission, and everybody rallied. They gave Move 1 Million the starting point to launch right here in the city in the form of Move One Mesa. And I couldn't think of a better place to begin this movement that's eventually going to change the world, but right here in my city. And so now with Move 1 Million, we can provide a service to move the entire city of Mesa, from the schools to the general public to the hospitals to assisted living. We're going to get everybody moving. We're going to get everybody coming together as one.
Something like this is critically important to come in and address that very real and very serious need that we have in our community to do some things to address our emotional and our spiritual health in response to this horrible challenge that we've all had.
Part of mental health is not just inside of your head, it's your actual physical body. So movement is so important. Making sure that you get enough sleep, making sure you eat right, and taking care of yourself. So working those good endorphins, and that's what exercise does. So this movement is very important.
I've started an initiative called #MesaKindness, and I'm trying to create a culture of kindness in our community. And so this works perfectly with Move One Mesa. As we move forward as one, kindness is really going to help us be unified in that. And also, I love the one, meaning one person at a time and one act at a time. Really, truly, one small thing every day could make such a big difference. If everyone in our entire city, everyone in our schools was doing something to show kindness to each other.
The Mesa Public Schools Foundation is a nonprofit that really brings the community and the school district together.
It is really good for people to give a little bit beyond, because it just strengthens the schools and it strengthens students and teachers.
I know without a shadow of a doubt, 82 schools, 64,000 kids, we're going to change a lot of lives for the better.
Oops, sorry.
Our community has...
There we go. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'd like to introduce Chris Powell, who helped lead all of us through those movements that you saw on the mountain. Just a real quick bio on Chris. You know, he's a Mesa resident and a Mesa Public Schools parent. He's got 2 kids that go to one of our elementary schools. He's a business owner. If you guys are wanting an app on health and wellness, then I encourage you to go look at Transform. He's hosted a successful TV show on ABC called Extreme Weight Loss, New York Times bestselling author, graduated from ASU, founder of the nonprofit Move 1 Million, and I put there, a super nice human being. And so Chris, I'm gonna let you take it from here.
Thank you, Marlo. I appreciate it. And thanks so much, everybody, for having me here at the party. Now, you know you can't invite me to your party without making everybody move. Sally Harrison, you know this too. Every single time that she's like, oh, join us, she knows exactly what she's getting into. So with that being said, before we begin, I would love to introduce you to Move 1 Million, but more than just talking about it, I want you guys to feel it. So I will ask everyone right now, if you will, let me indulge you, stand up, and I'm going to take everybody through, just give me about 6 minutes of your time here. I'm going to take you through an introduction of the 13 movements, and then we're going to put it to some music, and we're all going to move together. I want you to experience what this is all about and the service that we're bringing to the world. So really quick, Marlo, or actually whoever the admin is there any way you can make me a part admin so I can share my screen?
Here, I'll stop sharing, and then I think if you could, Ben, make sure he can share.
Amazing, we're good to go. Excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share this one right off the bat. And this is a super, super simple list right now that we're gonna go down. And then I'm going to surprise you all with a much cooler visual of what it is that we're gonna do. But right off the bat, here's what we're gonna do. And make sure you guys can actually see me in your screen as well. We're gonna explore 13 movements. There's a reason why there's 13, and I will get into the whole nitty gritty there. But essentially these movements, this is a total body warm up from the top down that I created. Thank goodness I have a degree in exercise science from Arizona State University, Forks Up, and with concentrations in physiology, biomechanics. So I created a total body warm up. Starts at the top, takes us all the way down full body. And essentially in the next 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes and 23 seconds, We're going to engage every major muscle group in your body. Everything's 100% modifiable so that you can just do it at your ability levels. But when it's all said and done, we're going to oxygenate our brains. We're going to oxygenate our muscles and our organs. We're going to activate and engage every major muscle group in the human body. And then something magical happens when we come together. And I'm going to tell you that part of the story later. So 13 movements. Here we go. The very first movement we're going to explore is a neck roll. Super easy. So I want everyone just to go through a nice neck roll so you experience this. Oh, you guys are pros. I'm watching the screen right now. You guys are going to make this way too easy on me. The next thing we're going to do is, as we move down the body, we're going to do an arm circle. So this warms up the shoulders. And then we bring them in to an X, out to a Y, in to an X. Amazing. You guys are fantastic. Next thing we're going to do, it's called a hug stretch. We've done this all before. We've seen, you know who's amazing at it? Michael Phelps. We all see him do this thing where he goes like that. We're just going to do it standing up. Hug stretch. So go ahead and stretch it out. Stretch out those pecs. There you go, those rear delts. That's the hug stretch right there. Perfect. Next thing we're going to do is a reach and touch. Here's what I want you to think up here. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So we go reach, and then we touch our thighs, and then we reach toward our toes. If you can't touch your toes, it's fine. Just reach toward them. And then I want you to touch your thighs and reach toward your toes 3 times. So we go 1 and 2 and 3. As we get into the movement, we're going to do that twice. It's going to move a little fast, but I think you guys are going to get the hang of it. Next, we're going to explore as we move down our body. We're going to go after our trunk now with something we call tornadoes. So I want you to, we're going to create a diagonal line up into the corner of the ceiling, down to the corner of the floor. So we're going to do 4 of these one way. Great job, everybody. See, you're all warming up your bodies now. You're oxygenating your brain, you're activating your muscles. Perfect. Now let's try the other side. There you go. So up to the left corner, down to the right floor. Left high corner, down right floor. There you go. Nice. All right, you guys just made this easy on me. Next thing we're gonna do, march it out. Just feel this. See, now we're moving down into the lower body. We're gonna start warming up those lower body muscles with a march. Excellent. You guys have got this one down. Moving down to number 7. This is something we call a kickback. Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna step out, you're gonna kick 1 foot back, and you're gonna reach for the sky. So you go reach, reach. That's it. And it stretches the quads and the lats. Now, you guys got that one down. Now superhero stretch. This is what it looks like. I want everyone to stretch their chest out like this all the way over the top. Let's come right down to the middle. And just like Superman opens up his suit jacket, you're gonna do the same thing. Open it up so we can see the hero within you. And you're gonna see that we're storytelling here, and it's all gonna come together here really soon. From here, you just found the superhero within. You're gonna tighten up all of your muscles, and you're gonna step forward and press it forward. And step back. And then switch feet, press it forward, and step back. Now let's take it out to the side. Let's squeeze our shoulders and raise them up and bring it back to the center. Good. Out to the other side, raise them up and bring it back to the center. And we're going to step back and we're going to press overhead. Yes. And then we're going to switch feet and press overhead again. There we go. That's the star lunge. Now everyone just nice and easy. We're going to jog it out. Just moving those feet in place. And then finally, we're going to do the 2 final big movements of Move 1 Million. It's just a quick little dip. Make these fists like your palms facing toward your face. You're going to come up and you're going to reach over to the side. And you're going to come back down, and we're going to do it on the other side. There we go. Good. And a reach. And one more. Reach. Then we do what we call the Phoenix squat. Here we are. Number 12. The Phoenix squat looks like this. And we're making a big circle like the wings of a phoenix. There you go. And then the final movement here is the hero's pose. So let's see the guns. Got to see the guns. Everyone get it. There you go. All right, that's what I want to see. Now what's going to happen? Right after we do this, you're going to hear the music like kind of reaches this crescendo. And when it does, you can hit any pose you want. You can go like Jersey Shore, you can blow a kiss, you can point to the sky, you can go forks up devils. You can do whatever you want, but you guys got to make it your own. Ben, I love that move right there. That was amazing. You're having way too much fun with this. I love it. Okay. Speaking of fun, now we're going to go ahead and put some music to this, and we're going to have a blast. So I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to switch over to desktop, share my sound, and here we go. So welcome to Move 1 Million. It's going to move a little faster. We're going to put this to music, and we're going to have some fun with this. So we're going to start off with the head roll. Do you want to join us? Yeah. Okay, so my son Cash, he's going to join us. He loves doing this with us. Okay. Oh, here comes Ruby. She's my 7-year-old. She's going to join us as well. Okay, so we're going to talk you guys through this. Ready? In 3, we're going to start with the head roll to the right. There we go. And now the head roll to the left. Now arm circles. Remember these little arm circles. And in. Good. And up. Wide. The other hug stretch now. Hug stretch. There you go. 4 more. Reach and touch next. Reach and touch. And touch. Touch. We're going to do it one more time. Reach and touch. And touch. And touch. Slowly roll it up. And now we're going to do those tornadoes, those twisting things. Here we go. And twist. Now, good. 2 on this side. 1 back to the center. We're going to go to the other side. Switch off, everyone. Now, last one. Then we're going to march it out together. 5. Almost there. Now we're going to do this to the back. Definitely take it back. There you go. Almost there. Now get ready for a big hero sprint. Hero within you. Open up that back end. Let's go. Press it forward. That's right. Out to the side. Nice. Other side. Now back and press overhead. Overhead. Rock it out. Ready? Rock, 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 rock. Almost there. Spot me. Good. Heroes pose. Let's now get ready to hit your pose. Now. Yes. Great job, my friends. Great.
Woohoo!
All right. That was amazing.
Way to go.
Okay. Go ahead and bring you guys back over to here, and I'm going to tell you a little story about what we just did. Okay. So that was 2 minutes and 23 seconds of movement, total body movement. I explained it to you. Full range of motion of the human body, engages every major muscle group. While the movement is wildly important, it's what's happening behind the scenes that's even more important. Here's the story behind the whole thing. During the pandemic, like especially early on, I was going through some of my own personal struggles, and I love climbing the buttes around town and just looking down on the city at night and thinking about just the struggles that everybody's going through and what I could possibly do to help serve all those people that are struggling. Because I mean, Lord knows we all got turned upside down over the last year. And I was thinking that I have been blessed with an amazing platform to be able to reach out to people. What can I possibly do with this to serve them? And I was asking myself this night after night after night, and I ended up coming down, sitting on my couch, turning on a documentary on Japan. And I watched the story. I didn't make it 5 minutes into the documentary because they said, every morning in Japan at 6:30 in the morning begins Ragio Taiso. Ragio meaning radio, Taiso meaning exercises or calisthenics. It started in 1928. Emperor Hirohito in 1928 had a major problem. His people weren't living past 40 to 45 years old. That was the life expectancy of the average Japanese citizen. And they were insanely divided. They were all coming up in these different villages that were growing into cities, and they were not getting along. So he was trying to do two things. He was trying to make them healthier, and he was trying to bring them all together. And I'm sitting there like dog-eared, looking at the TV like, what? Like, wait a second. We're dealing with these same issues right now. Okay, now let's continue the story. By 1950, this is 1928. By 1955, Japan was the healthiest country in the world. Today, 2021, 92 years later, almost 93 years later now, 27 million Japanese citizens do Rajio Taiso today, every single day. It was ingrained into their culture. They embraced it, and it helped change a country. And I just thought, that's it. Now here's the catch. In 1928, it's the same 13 movements. It was 3.5 minutes, played to the exact same music. It was this dainty classical piano piece, and it was very like dance-like movements that they kind of bounce through, and they go through the 13 movements. And I thought, we need this, but it's got to speak to the masses. It's got to be more powerful. It's got to span all generations. Plus, I can improve upon this. I have a degree in this, in movement, in the science of it. And backstory, I absolutely hated my piano lessons between 5 and 11, but it paid off because I actually learned how to play the piano. I wrote that music and I played it. And I wrote the music 11 years ago when I started working with my people through transformation because I was so inspired by their journey. The music actually, it's called The Hero's Journey. And this is what I want everybody to feel, is there's a hero inside all of us, whether we're 5 or we're 95. And that's why I wrote the music for them 11 years ago, and I never shared it because there was never a place to do it until now. And I thought, well, I'm going to choreograph these movements, human movements, with the music so we can choreograph this and tell the story of the hero's journey. We'll enact, we'll enact the hero's journey. And we need to do this every single day, because we're trying to do the same thing that Emperor Hirohito was trying to do in 1928. We're more divided than ever. We're more sedentary than ever. According to World Health Organization, 264 million people in the world are depressed. 284 million have anxiety. That's diagnosed. Hundreds of millions undiagnosed. Loneliness is through the roof. Suicide through the roof. Depression, anxiety, we talked about all that. And obviously, you talk about everything that's happened with the pandemic, an average of 12 to 15 pounds gained. We were already more sedentary than ever. We need to move. It's time for something like this more than ever. So started a nonprofit organization. We are 100% free service. They had the radio back then. We got app technology now. We have website, apps, social media. We have the ability to take something like this to the masses. And that's exactly what we're doing. So starting 10 months ago, we broke ground, started building an app, started building out the technology to create broadcasts that we can air everywhere, from schools to hospitals to assisted living to correctional facilities to businesses and organizations for free, to a 100% free app that anyone can download. And then there's a free broadcast at the top of every hour, on the hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's a different broadcast every day with different celebrity guests every day, just to make it fun and exciting and engaging. We've gamified the whole thing as well, so you can rank up their streaks. There's all of this. And the sole purpose is just, number one, to get us to move and to move together. Because also with our technology, as you're following the broadcast, it'll activate your camera. And so you can watch yourself moving with everyone on the screen, so you can feel that togetherness, because we just don't have that luxury right now. So I was thinking, how can we take this technology while we're so divided and bring us together? I didn't touch on this, but movement together, there's a whole science behind that. And it's called muscular bonding. It's been used for human interaction for centuries. This is why you see, obviously dance that goes back thousands of years, soldiers moving in lockstep. Regular calisthenics during basic training, when they're trying to build teamwork and camaraderie, there's a reason why everything is done to a cadence. Everyone moves together. It builds a team. And now we can extend this to every human. Again, from 5 to 95, schools, and you talked about assisted living. I've just actually in conversation with Dignity Health, and this is like the broadcast that I can share this with you. So when we actually push the broadcast out, it's really cool because any organization can put their logo on it. You simply upload your logo, you request the broadcast, you get it for free. We bring in all these people. These are random submissions from people around the world who will be participating. And then you can broadcast this to your entire company or assisted living home, hospital, et cetera. Then teamed up with Mesa Public Schools. Thank you to Marlo. Thank you to Dr. Forlis, who connected me obviously with the whole Mesa Public School District. We're gonna have 64,000 kids doing this after the Pledge of Allegiance in the mornings now. And it's 2.5 minutes. And the teachers embraced it. Obviously the PE teachers, but even the homeroom teachers, like, this is fantastic. We can get our kids to move, oxygenate their brains, they can get the willies out, and they can sit down and they can be in a much more ready state to learn. But then I was talking with Kathleen Dowler over at Dignity. She said, this would be incredible for the Alzheimer's, dementia patients, autism. It's the application is just, it's across the spectrum. So, and I thought, well, this is fantastic and it's free. So we're a 100% free service. We're a nonprofit. So we work off the donations and sponsorships, and that's it. So this is Move 1 Million. This is the dream of what it is. Our worldwide launch is Monday. It actually happens in just 5 days now. And we're actually going to be a free app on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store. You can go to m1m.org. You can register your organization. Not quite yet. It'll be up and running in a couple days. You can go to m1m.org now. You can see it, but the website is not done yet. But yeah, this is who we are, and that's our mission, is to move 1 million people at least every single day. And we're going to do it and then some. So I'd love to take a moment. If you guys have any questions or comments, happy to answer anything.
Alex, are you raising your hand?
Sorry, I was just doing the emoji clapping.
Oh, the clapping, yay.
Chris, thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely, brother, absolutely.
And just so you guys know, so we're using this, we're encouraging all of our teachers to, like, after Pledge of Allegiance, do 2.5 minutes of movement. And then there's going to be 1 minute of mindfulness. Great way to start the day with our kids. Also, since they'll be able to memorize the movements, they can actually take that home and be able to teach their family, their grandparents, anybody there. And then again, kind of building this daily culture of starting your day with movement, which is a priority of physical health. It helps, when we're moving, that helps our mental health. So it's kind of this overarching initiative to really start each day focusing on these priorities.
Absolutely. Yeah, looking to standardize movement and mindfulness, kind of weave it into our culture. And I do genuinely believe, and we've seen this across time, especially like if you look at the timeline in Japan, it was between 1928, but by 1955, it was the healthiest country. Same thing with like the, no smoking campaigns. You start them in the 80s, and by 2010, you finally start to see the numbers drop. So it takes a generation. But if we can start weaving this in now, number one, we can offer service to anyone who's even 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. But then we really start supporting these kids as well. And we can really start to see a change in the long-term culture that we were kind of weaving in. We're, as Marla was saying, the beauty of it is the simplicity of it. If you want people to memorize something and to know it for life, it must be simple. It can't be something different every day. The Pledge of Allegiance, for example, I'm sure everybody here could recite it. It's because you do it every single day. We're going to give our children the gift of something that for the rest of their lives, they will know how to move their body. They will know the very first step to changing their life and their body and their health forever. Because a lot of times, like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. You start with 2.5 minutes, move 1 million. It's the best place to begin, whether, again, you're 5 or you're 95. We just want to give everybody that very first step.
Chris, a quick question, if I might. They say sitting is the new smoking, and I think it really is going to impact our life, just sitting and staying in this sedentary lifestyle. You said it's important for us to move, but I'd like to be able to get the movements down in this thing. And I'm wondering, do you have a YouTube channel so that we can actually practice the moves when we start doing this?
I can do one better than that, my friend. And yes, that's a great question. So actually, when you go to, so the app, free download, of course, and also on the website, there's a whole section that's just called the movements. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. And these movements, there's both sitting movements, and I know you guys saw in the corner, you saw Amy Van Dyken, who is a 6-time Olympic gold medalist swimmer, broke her back in a motorcycle accident 6 years ago. And so she was doing the seated movements. Again, it's for everybody. So you can choose between standing or seated. And here's Amy. And you can select each movement. It'll explain how to do the movement. So here we go. Here's neck rolls. And you can simply watch the video and you can see Amy performing neck rolls here.
Great.
And so you can practice that in slow motion, but then you can also see, it'll tell you all the muscles. I don't know, my screen's too bright. It'll tell you all of the muscles that are engaged and also the storytelling, what that movement means in the choreography of the entire thing. And so we can do all of that for you. And this is also on the website, move1million.org. And at the same time, if you want to just practice, you just simply go to learn the routine. And this will also be on the website as well. And it's a full tutorial where I just go through the whole thing in super slow motion. And I promise you, after about 2 or 3 practice runs, you'll know it'll start to flow really well and you'll be a pro. Give yourself 1 week and you're gonna know exactly how this thing goes and you'll hear it in the music, and the music will actually prompt the motion as it tells the story. It works really well. Great question, Jerry, thank you. Any other questions?
Everybody's tired from moving. And eating lunch.
You're supposed to be energized after moving.
I know, I'm tired.
Program.
I have a question for you, Chris. You've penned a number of articles and some of the health magazines. Can you tell me tell us one of the ones that really resonate with you? One of the topics that you think are most important that you've written about?
Ooh, that's a good question, Ben. Yes, I would. I've actually written a handful of articles. Hold on really quick, Ruth. That's amazing. She just built a new little Lego set. So isn't it? I know. Sorry for the interruption. It's the times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I've written a couple articles in a handful of publications about integrity, and about integrity being the root of transformation. A lot of people think that we change people's physical state. Well, you change people's physical state through diet and exercise, but the thing is you don't transform anybody through diet and exercise, because the thing is there has to be that compliance. And in order for people to really embrace the nutrition and exercise, because the thing is anyone can grind for 90 days and just follow a program. But if we're going to make a lifelong change, you have to completely change the conversation. And I've written about this multiple times because this is the platform that I've stood on for quite some time. And this is the magic behind what you actually see in our show. Because a lot of people, they watch the show, they go, oh my gosh, how do you help everybody? They lose 200 pounds a year. What's the secret? What's the diet? I said, we cover the diet in about 30 minutes. We cover the exercise program in maybe 15. It's really simple. So when I say it's all about integrity. When I say integrity, it's doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And quick example here. When we actually start our transformations with everyone, behind the scenes, we actually bring all transformers into one room at one time. I know you see one person's journey through the year. We bring them all together. I'll stand there in front of the whole group of them, 40 of them, 50 of them. I'll say, hey, you're all here because you have no integrity. And you could imagine the looks I get. Everyone's like, whoa, hold on. Let me define this really quick. I'm sure you have integrity with other people. If you tell someone, you tell your friend you're gonna show up at noon, you're there at noon, right? Yeah. You tell your kids you're gonna pick up at 5. You're there at 5. But how many times have you all told yourself the diet starts Monday? How many times have you told yourself that you're gonna set the alarm early tomorrow at 5:30 and we're gonna wake up and do 30 minutes of cardio? And everyone's like, oh. Thing is, like, we have integrity with other people, but we have no integrity with ourselves. And once you change that part of the conversation and you change that paradigm, you realize the value of your word to yourself. And the biggest mistake that most people make when they're starting a transformation, they're taking on nutrition and exercise, they're taking on too much. The statistics say, behavioral change statistics say, you can take on humans can take on one commitment at a time. Humans in these mass studies, when they give them one change, say drink an extra quart of water a day, most of them can do that with an over 80% chance of success. That's great, of long-term success. The moment you give a human two things, you say drink a quart of water a day and deliberately move for 10 minutes a day, that success drops to 30%. The moment you give them 3%, it drops to less than 5%. I'm sorry, three things drops to less than 5%. There's no, it's the mathematics, it's the statistics of it. The moment you give a human more than one thing to do, the math is against them. And that's why you see 9 out of 10 people fail over and over and over again. It's not about the diet and exercise, it's about the commitment that you make to yourself. And you give them one thing to do at a time. And when they can consistently do that over time, you allow them to build upon that one thing at a time. Our transformations are done very, very slowly because it's done one promise at a time. That's how you transform a human, not diet and exercise. You transform them one promise at a time. And when they understand the value of that promise to themselves, changes everything. When that person becomes a promise keeper to themselves, that's when they transform. That's when it's my job as a coach, just to step out of their way, just let them go, because they're gonna do extraordinary things.
Awesome.
So, thank you. Sorry for the long-winded answer.
No, it's good. I told Ben we'd give him that last 5 minutes. So thank you, Chris, for being with us. We appreciate you. And hopefully everybody will engage in the Move 1 Million and the Move 1 Mesa initiatives, and appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, Chris. And we're glad you're right here in Mesa, Arizona. It's great to have you.
Always representing. I was born at Desert Sam. And so, yep, definitely representing. And again, if this is something that resonates with you guys, share it. That's what we're here for. Just share it with corporations, businesses, small businesses, organizations, however we can. We're just going to try to get everybody to move and spread some movement, some light, and some love around.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks. As we move into the final part of our program, we have a short but very important segment. A few months ago, our club sponsored, funded, with the help of a grant, a classroom library for Redbird Elementary School. And the principal, Amy Krem, had a very enthusiastic approach to trying to bring library books into the room to help their students. So we helped them start that program, and Amy's with us in the room right now. And I'm gonna mute my microphone and ask Amy, just share with everyone in our club, how are things going at school, and how will this project impact your students?
Thank you for having me today. I want to just tag on here a bit to the Chris that was just on. That program is getting ready to launch here in Mesa Public Schools, and as a principal, we're very excited to be able to have our kids up and moving at the start of every day. So just a little plug there for that program. We're very excited. I want to say thank you to the Rotary for the opportunity to put additional library books in the hands of our students. I know I need to be brief here, so I'm going to try not to get long-winded, but the premise of what we're doing here at Redbird is that we are also transforming students, and that is from teaching children to read to growing real readers. If you understand the research behind literacy and just success in life, right? The better you can read, the more you read, the better you can read, and that equates to opportunities in your life. And it is strongly linked. Struggling with reading or not having access to becoming a reader is directly linked with poverty, incarceration, those pieces. And we set out at Redbird to change that. So as part of our program, I guess for lack of a better word, is that we want to instruct students to learn to read as we typically would in school, but we want to connect that to real books and tap into the motivation of individual students to inspire them
to have them learning to read through a book that they choose, giving them voice and choice as an active participant in the reading process. And we are early in the process, because to do this kind of work, you have to have access. Kids have to be able to access a lot of a variety of books, genres at the appropriate levels. And so you can imagine how many books it takes to give children that variety and that richness in the classroom. So we were so thankful to the Mesa Rotary for helping us with that piece. We are in the early stages. We do intend to have to be tracking student data, I will call it typical data that we look at when we're measuring a student's success in reading. So for example, the standardized types of tests, assessments that are given, such as Acadience, different ways that we measure how kids are doing. But one of the things that is already so obvious to us is the observational data that we have. So for example, we have students that are asking for specific books, understanding, getting hooked on a series for the first time, understanding different genres, reading nonfiction for the first time in their life. It was so exciting because we took the money from the Rotary. We did a survey with the kids in that classroom, asking what their personal opinions were of their access to real books. I work at a school where children don't have access the way they do in other areas of Mesa. Their families aren't able to provide the level of richness that they need to really grow as a reader. When we brought the books in so we did the survey, and we went to find out, what do you want more of? What do you wish your classroom library had? And they gave us feedback on what they wanted us to purchase. When we brought in the books, and I'm going to mail a couple of the pictures with a thank you letter from the students into the classroom, you would not believe the response of these kids. One of the students said, "This is the best day of my life." When we pulled out a book called Dork Diaries, it's a series these kids are hooked on. I can tell you, I used to be a principal at Las Sendas Elementary, and I was at Fulton Elementary for 6 years, much more affluent areas. Those kids get the series and the sets as soon as they come out. This child wanted Dork Diaries so badly. She said it was the best day of her life. There is so many stories that we're seeing like this. And what was really fascinating, and again, I will have data eventually to really be able to drill down this impact this is having, but we're doing a book fair at our school, and the book fairs are typically, we try to get new books into the classrooms, but this time we have never had this many students participate in purchasing their own books at the library. It's just been amazing, the excitement around reading. And in my professional opinion, it is one thing to teach students to read, but the power in changing lives is teaching them to be a reader. And I think that's where we need to shift the way we're doing things in schools. And thanks to the Mesa Rotary, we were given an opportunity, and we appreciate it. So I know that was quick. I could go on for 2 hours, but I won't. I think you're muted, Ben.
You were right. I was, but I didn't say anything important. Trust me. No, what was really important was for our club to hear your message, and we appreciate you breaking away from school, joining us today to see our club and our members. And thank you for giving us a chance to get involved with this program. And we look forward to hearing more from you when you have some results, and that will help to guide us maybe in the next year or two as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Amy. Talk to you
Thanks,
again.
Amy.
So thank you for staying with us. It was a good program today, a very interesting one. And I'm glad Amy could join us. Gee whiz, I have to jump to the end of the program. It's coming up. That's the screen I was looking for. I just wanted to thank everyone for being here and remind us that next week we have a program, but our program committee isn't ready to commit because they don't have a 100% on the program, and it will be a nice program, but we're not going to talk about it until we're sure. So tune in March 31st. April 7th, the following week, we have a Rotarian's Adventure. This is an interesting story of a Rotarian canoeing down the Mississippi, starting from the source of the Mississippi and ending at the ocean. So that's a 30-minute trip down the Mississippi, and I think you should all attend. It'll be great. Following on the 14th of April will be the Ronald McDonald House program. There is so much that Ronald McDonald House is involved with, and the people in many communities in this country that Ronald McDonald House helps is phenomenal. The program will shed more light on that. So with that said, yes, it's been a great meeting and we're off to a good start, but there's still more to the day. So I hope we can all go out and make it outstanding. Thank you for being here. See you next week.